folks, yes, another video. You've got it, another video. Anyway, a little bit different this time. I thought what I would do is every now and then, or maybe every now and now, I would probably do a video looking at one or two of the bits that I make out of other bits, whatever. I suppose you'd call it created. I don't know. It sort of is. It's sort of just adapting. We call it adapting. Adapting one thing to another thing because you probably like what you're going to adapt it to. So I thought today I'd do one of those videos where I adapted this a little while back. I'll show you it. I'll put one or two pictures up. I'll tell you how I did it. Pictures are a bit not that great because the quality weren't that good, so now I've blown them up. They don't look that great, but you'll get the idea. But before we do that, the new tradition, which will show another mug. And if you see that mug, it is a skull mug, black skull mug, and a cup of tea. So here's to here is to tradition. Get it bloody right. Bugger, also make hot tea. Don't forget this as well. Tea, boiling point. Coffee, under boiling point. Boiling point for tea, bring out the flavours. Boiling point for your coffee, you scorch the coffee, make it bitter. So if you're gonna make coffee from a kettle, especially ground coffee, anything like that, leave it 20 seconds or something after boiling just to go down, because otherwise you will get a bitterness in your coffee. So if you didn't know that before, you do now, and you'll be going, this is bloody lovely, isn't it? Tastes like coffee rather than bitter. But if it's tea, boiling hot, straight out the boiling kettle into the tea. Should be here. Anyway, that's the first bit. You're all going to love it eventually, because you're all going to be saying, look at it, you know, I'm going to start my bloody video off with a cup of tea or coffee, because otherwise I have to wait all that bloody time till I get one. Another bit today, which you can hear. No, it's not a musical instrument, but I saw it in a shop for £1.50, and it's string, and on the string is 12 hearts, 12 love hearts if you like. I'm not quite sure what it's for, it just hangs there. But I like it, it's pretty flipping, it's no good showing it. I like it, it's good, isn't it? I like it, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, I just like it, and actually I quite like the sound. So there you go. Don't get a lot of wind through in here, so I'm not going to hear that very often. Getting back to the main drift of this video. Today I'm going to show you how I transform this. And you've probably got one of these. If you haven't got one, you've seen one, or somebody's got one. It's how I transform this into this into this. I like them both. Which do you like? Or do you like both? But you see, I didn't cry afterwards because I was sensible enough to buy two. So I still had one. Okay, so how did I get this to this? Well, it's obviously battery operated and everything. And you press a little button at the top and...
Are you ready for Halloween?
yeah.
Are you ready for treats?
I'm ready for you to bloody get on with it. God, bloody long-winded, isn't it? Just to give you 2 or 3 bloody sentences. Anyway, that's what that is. I really flipping like it. Dancing skeleton in a coffin with cobwebby bits of material. He's really decomposed. How did I get this to that? Well, good question you may ask. To start with, Skelly there had to come out, and you see there's screws at the back, so he took the screws off, to cut a long story short, and old Dancing Fred here came out, and he's not in this room, I think he's in another room. He's hanging on, he was here, but he's hanging on something, so he's still doing the job. So all this stuff come out, all this, and as I'm going along I'll stick a picture in. If I got a picture for that bit, excuse me, if I got a picture for that bit I'll stick it in. Anyway, so all that come out, just like that, magic. So you end up then with a box like this with nothing in it. So what did you do then? Well, you need a front to it. So it's up to you. You can use what the hell you like. I mean, you can use very thick cardboard if you want. If you got a sheet of some sort of plastic that you can cut, use that. What I used very thin plywood. It was easy to cut. Very simple to do. Then you have you think, how the hell am I going to do a coffin shape? You put your plastic or whatever down, put that down, draw around it, and that will be the exact shape of the front. So that's what I did, exact shape of the front. Then before I put it on there, I had to decide what clock mechanism was going in. And if you look at that, to start with, I did start off with a different clock. I got a really old clapped out little carriage clock, and took all the front off and I put that on. I didn't like it really, so I did find another one, and this one made it a lot easier because with the other sort I would have had to have a method where I had to keep opening the front and going in, and I didn't want that. So if you look at this, I found this clock with this sort of whatever you call it around there. You must know what it's called. And it was in a body, but being in the body, you could take it out the body. So what you do is you get the draw around that, cut a bit of cardboard out or something, put it on the wood, and you cut out the same hole as the clock. So then when you put your battery in, or you wind it up, if it's a wind up, whatever, it's easy to get to because you just put it in the hole, make sure it's a nice tight fit. If it isn't, put a few layers of tape on it or something till it's nice and snug as a bug in a rug. You push it in, there you go. You want to change the battery at the time, you just take it out. Simple as that. That was silver. I had it silver for a few days and I thought, nah, I'm more the black person, so it was painted all over with black acrylic paint. At the bottom, that was a grey plastic gravestone that came as a set of little gravestones or something at Halloween in a packet. Stuck on there, black. It probably went black when I painted the wood black. Obviously I didn't mention that, but you paint it back black. How did I put the wood on? Just glue. Once you've cut that to the shape, it fits. You can sand it a little bit if you've just gone out a bit. Some really good glue on that edge. Stick that on. And if you're really good with this stuff, you can use the hot glue gun. But I just used what we call the Yoo-hoo glue in this country. It's probably very similar to your Gorilla glue or something. I don't know. This little bit at the top, I had a word with my taxidermist because she was making little discs, and the little metal container, and I think you could have a little beetle in there, whatever, and she put some sort of silicone or something in there. It's something see-through. Well, I'll tell you what's in there. Ask her if she could put a lock of hair in. I wanted it sort of looking a bit Victorian, and the Victorians had the memento mori lock of hair and everything. So if you have a look there, see that little curl of hair there? She did that for me. It's set in that resin or whatever. Whose is it? I haven't got the faintest. Possibly hers. I don't know, but it wasn't going to be used for anything supernatural, just for that. So when I got that, it was very plain in that little thing in the middle. So this bit here is just an ordinary chain, and it's not, you could use a silver chain, but I just happened to have one that was that dark colour. Wrap it round, find out what link you need to undo it on to the right circumference, and I think I did the links up again and it glued round it, so it gave it a lovely little frame. Next, the legs. Well, the legs come off the original pretty crap, wasn't doing anything, second hand little carriage clock, and it was this sort of brassy thing, so I didn't want the body. So luckily when you unscrew them, that's the plate, so the plate got screwed on there with the little legs. The top again was the top of the carriage clock. You can see how old it is, how it looks pretty. Don't worry, I wasn't destroying some Edwardian or Victorian carriage clock. It was a modern one that's just gone old. There's the handle, and luckily those. Now I can't remember Can't remember if the little bolts are still in there, whether they was on the body, or whether they're just glued back on top of the holes. But there you go, folks. One Coffin Clock. A little bit Victorian style, a little bit Gothic style. I like it. And it is the baby of this boy here. So, what do you think? A little singing, dancing, skelly baby? Or something a little bit more elegant? Anyway, it's up to you. Halloween will come around again. Unless Trump does something with this world before Halloween. Sorry, Americans, couldn't help it. See something like that, anything that's a plastic coffin, if it hasn't got a lid or anything, buy it, put a front on it, put a clock in it, decorate it up how you want to decorate it. If you haven't got the little legs and everything that I have, you could put 4 little, go and buy 4 little brass knobs. Some kitchen drawer knobs would probably be small enough. If you can't look for small knobs, you can either drill through and put the knobs on that way. If you don't want to, a really good glue, just glue them on. It's 4 little knob bits there. The handle at the top. Do your thing, use your imagination. Again, same place, get a little drawer, like the little small drawers, you can get the little bits that, excuse me, you can get little drawer handles like this that you bolt to your drawer, and then you just open it and pull the drawer, something like that to go on the top. So, a little drawer handle at the top, 4 little drawer knobs or something at the bottom, and you too can be the proud owner of your own little coffin clock. Folks. So after all that, I hope it inspired you to do something anyway. You don't have to do that, you could turn it to anything you want. On the other hand, you can buy one and just use it for what it was intended for. But before I go, look down there, look at the links, the Goths for Sophie calendar. If you haven't got one, maybe nip along and get one. And I nearly went all the way through this video without the things. But I didn't manage it all the bloody way through, did I? Oh, I'm going to start charging people for that. Got to bloody write down who tinged. So folks, have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Enjoy yourself. Let's have a look here. It's still fairly bloody hot. Remember, boiling water, tea, leave it 20 seconds or so for your coffee. Have fun. Cheers.